This was made possible through a gradual change of attitude towards the political structure in America, as well as the strong desires of Americans to create equality of rights. In the Declaration of Independence, it is stated that all men are created equal. This becomes more of a reality among all Americans during this time of political transition in America. First, you will need to know that before this transition takes place, America's political system ran on the basis of Republican principles. This is not, however, referring to the Republican Party that exists today, which we will discuss later, but rather is a form of government in which most of the people have control over the government. This form of government was largely favored by the founders of the Constitution because it helped to control the passions of the people and restrict the influence of factions. Americans sought for a form of government that created a more equal or balanced way of including all the people's voices and opinions, in having a say in the decisions which would have an impact on their lives. This was a more democratic form of government. It will be valuable to understand that America did not change from a republic to a democracy, but that these desires that they had led to a more active effort in gaining increased participation by all people. In the process of gaining a greater spirit of democracy, strong influence came from early changes to America's political, economic, and social affairs, such as the Civil Rights Movement, which pushed for more equality between all people and created a greater sense that all people's ideas and opinions were important. Or there was the Westward Movement, which was the migration of people from the east across the frontier to the west. These people experienced many of the same trials or challenges and grew to understand that all would need to work equally. This helped them realize that such attitudes of equality, self-reliance, and independence are required in society in order to survive. And then finally, because big businesses were gaining so much power, people feared that these businesses would damage or destroy the spirit of democracy. Some of the most important changes in American politics was the inclusion of so many more people to vote. Below is a timeline of how the voting rights have evolved starting in the 1790s, when only men who were at least 21 years of age and owned at least 50 acres of land could vote. Some other examples in which people have gained more power in the government over time include the following. Some significant results from the democratization of America have been the increased amount of participation in political parties. This is important because those who shared similar beliefs and opinions were able to get together in political parties to push for their interests. These political parties would get so strong and able to uphold their interests enough that leaders could be elected who would represent them and their interests. We can learn, as we look back into the history of American politics, how different popular leaders have expanded political participation in America. Another result of the democratization in America is the development of strong two-party political systems. A two-party political system is when there are two main political parties, and each struggle for control based upon their principles and interests. Today, these two political parties in America are known as the Republican and the Democratic parties. A single-party system is where only one party exists. It can be defined as when a single party gets enough support from the people to win elections and influence policy. Basically, one party dominates while all other parties are discredited. A multi-party system has three or more parties, and each one has a chance of winning elections. America has generally never experienced a multi-party system, but third parties have formed in response to the feeling of some that they have been secluded or locked out of the political debate by the major parties consisting of Republican or Democratic. In these third parties, additional issues are brought into the national debate that were not included originally. These might include abolition of slavery, prohibition, monetary policy, income tax, or how to protect the environment. Some examples of major third parties that have developed consist of anti-Masons, American independent parties, socialists, neo-Nazis, communists, populists, and progressives. An interesting and important fact about the Progressive Party is that it was created by Theodore Roosevelt, who while during a speech was shot in an assassination attempt but survived. He later stated that he was fit as a bull moose, therefore giving the Progressive Party the nickname and symbol of the Bull Moose Party. Generally, these parties were created based on either specific issues, the personality of well-respected leaders, or political ideologies.